I met my wife while I was working at Leah's house. She was Leah's personal assistant, and started dating, moved in with each other, and that's when I got more experience with the abuse Leah was imparting on her staff. It's tricky because the first time it happened is just my wife came home in tears, and she told me what happened, and it didn't seem like a big deal, but Leah really laid into her. If you saw Leah's house, you would understand. Everything has its place. It's meticulous. So if anything's out of order, including a person, they're going to get it. And that's what it was living with my wife at the time. It was any small thing that happened, you were laid into. I helped her sort that out. But it got to a point where it's happening sometimes several times a week. My wife would come home in tears, and I would have to deal with that. And, there's a certain kind of abuse that is not super obvious, right? So if you mess out at work, you usually go, okay, I got in trouble for doing this. But for my wife to come home in tears several times a week and me having to spend the night talking her off the ledge, so to speak, because she felt like she was a terrible person or felt just smashed by this person, it takes its toll. And it's funny how that abuse spreads, because it didn't just affect my wife, it affected me. It affected my life, even though I wasn't the one being abused. I had to deal with it. I'm sure there's thousands of people out there that have to deal with someone that's being abused and not knowing what to do. At a certain point, the abuse was enough that I didn't care that we would be losing her paycheck. We would figure it out. Even if she had to work for a lot less money, it didn't matter. I told her we would work it out, and she needed to quit. Finally, she quit, and it was great. But Leah realized what a valuable employee she was because of all the stuff she did. She did everything. She ran her life for her. She realized this, and she did a 180 from psycho to complete sweetheart. I'm so sorry. I'll change. She said she would change, not you need to change to my wife. No, she said she would change. Leah said she would change and she would be better. She begged her. She had a meeting with her and spent, I think, 2 hours trying to get her back. My wife just kept saying, no. Finally, it worked. My wife said yes. Terrible decision. Because within, I don't even know if it was 2 months before the abuse just picked up right where she left off, and so my one particular night, my wife came home in tears, and I talked to her about it. Her mess up was she talked to Leah with an attitude. She said, fine, instead of, okay, I'll do that. Or something as simple as that. And Leah tore into her. That's abuse. She berated her, made her feel small, made her feel like shit, worthless. Like this is what she pounded her into the ground for talking to her with an attitude. That was this psycho. And so, simple solution, quit. So again, she quit. And this time it stuck, thankfully.